W.E.B. Du Bois' essay, The Talented Tenth, first published in 1903, advocates for the education and empowerment of a small, intellectually elite segment of the African American community. Du Bois believed this group, which he referred to as the Talented Tenth, could lead the charge in uplifting the entire race through education, leadership, and moral responsibility. Written in response to the prevailing vocational education-focused ideologies of leaders like Booker T. Washington, the essay emphasizes higher education as the key to racial progress. The concept of the talented tenth. Du Bois introduces the idea of the talented tenth as a critical subset of the African American population, a fraction capable of achieving intellectual and social prominence. This elite group, educated at institutions of higher learning, would act as leaders and role models to guide the broader African American community out of oppression and poverty. Du Bois sees this intellectual vanguard as essential for both individual and collective liberation. He argues that history demonstrates the transformative power of an educated elite. In every major social movement, leadership by a small but capable group has been the catalyst for significant change. For African Americans, this means creating a group of thinkers, leaders, and educators who can shape the direction of their communities and advocate effectively for civil rights and justice. The role of higher education. Du Bois insists that higher education, rather than vocational or industrial training, is the cornerstone of developing the talented tenth. While vocational training equips individuals with practical skills for immediate employment, Du Bois believes it does not address the need for critical thinking, leadership, and cultural advancement. He critiques Booker T. Washington's emphasis on vocational education, arguing that it perpetuates a cycle of subservience and limits opportunities for African Americans to ascend to positions of influence. For Du Bois, the ultimate goal of education is not just economic stability but the cultivation of character, intelligence, and leadership. He envisions a system of liberal arts education that fosters well-rounded individuals capable of addressing complex societal issues. Institutions like Fisk University, Howard University, and Atlanta University are highlighted as models for providing the type of education necessary to develop leaders within the African American community. Historical justification. Du Bois uses historical examples to justify his argument. He points to the role of educated elites in the emancipation of European nations and the abolition of slavery. In every case, a small group of educated individuals has driven social progress. He argues that this pattern holds true for African Americans as well. Without a class of educated leaders, the race will remain disenfranchised and oppressed. The essay underscores the success stories of African Americans who have already benefited from higher education. Du Bois highlights the contributions of Black teachers, ministers, and other professionals who, despite limited resources, have played a pivotal role in uplifting their communities. These individuals embody the potential of the talented tenth to inspire and lead. Moral leadership and responsibility. Du Bois stresses that education is not merely about intellectual development but also moral responsibility. The talented tenth must act as moral exemplars, embodying integrity, courage, and commitment to justice. They must prioritize the collective welfare of their race over personal advancement, using their education to combat systemic racism and improve social conditions. This moral leadership extends to fostering a sense of racial pride and unity. Du Bois believes that the talented tenth has a duty to counteract the negative stereotypes and prejudices imposed by white society. By demonstrating excellence in character and achievement, they can challenge these misconceptions and demand respect and equality. Critique of vocationalism. Throughout the essay, Du Bois critiques the overemphasis on vocational training championed by Booker T. Washington. While acknowledging the importance of practical skills for economic survival, Du Bois argues that focusing exclusively on industrial education limits African Americans to a subservient role in society. He asserts that this approach fails to address the structural inequalities and systemic barriers that perpetuate racial injustice. Du Bois warns that vocationalism risks creating a permanent underclass of laborers, unable to rise to positions of influence or challenge the status quo. He emphasizes that true progress requires access to the full spectrum of educational opportunities, including the arts, sciences, and humanities. The vision for racial uplift. Du Bois outlines a vision of racial uplift led by the talented 10th. This group would act as educators, mentors, and advocates, guiding the masses towards self-reliance and empowerment. By building institutions, promoting intellectual and cultural achievements, and advocating for civil rights, the talented 10th could create a ripple effect that benefits the entire race. Du Bois emphasizes the importance of collaboration and collective action. He envisions a network of educated individuals working together to address the social, economic, and political challenges faced by African Americans. This vision requires not only individual excellence but also a commitment to community service and social justice. In The Talented 10th, W.E.B. Du Bois presents a compelling argument for the transformative power of higher education and intellectual leadership. By investing in the development of an educated elite, he believes African Americans can overcome the barriers of oppression and achieve lasting progress. The essay remains a seminal work in African American intellectual history, offering a blueprint for empowerment and social change. Du Bois' call for the talented 10th continues to resonate as a reminder of the importance of education, leadership, and moral responsibility in the fight for equality and justice.